I find it very exciting to see what is going on in other countries with regards to student design and the innovation that their aesthetic, their interests, their education is bringing to object creation. And to see the range and the variety was quite interesting. It was strong, it was, there was novelty. So what was so interesting for me was the difference, the strength, and the high quality that was demonstrated through the images of the different selections. And what's so interesting as an educator to come to another country is to see the variety and the strengths that are being demonstrated and shown through the different educational institutions. The categories produced strong entrants and very innovative designs. And I wasn't sure exactly what I'd be facing and looking at, and I was very pleased. It was strong work, different work, unlike each entrant there's not a commonality there. Well, the differences between the designs I'm familiar with and the designs that I was seeing yesterday, I think this is a global design community now, because the ability for students to look at things that are happening all over the world. There are differences that are being brought to these selections, but there's not a huge range of difference because the students are in a digital community that they're all able to access. I thought there were some examples of student design options that were drawing upon, their cultural upbringing, their interest in maybe some history from Mexico. There was one entrance that was taking some of the Aztec graphic images and utilized that or incorporated that into their object. And I thought that was pretty intriguing. So you'll see those kind of things both with my students, and you'll see those clearly in any kind of context, be it here in Mexico, China, the United States. I think the biggest thing is that we're all able to reach information that's the same through the digital world that we now live in. I thought that the three criteria were very strong, and they left a lot of room for innovation and creativity in the selections. The fantasy selection was very varied, very wide and broad as to the difference in options to choose from, and that's exciting. People are being very creative with how they interpret the criteria for that selection. I thought the strength of both the wine cellar and the bunk beds was that there's an understanding of the utilitarian need, the function of those criteria, and they explored that in a very wide range or a very broad range. And that sort of innovation, that uniqueness that was demonstrated through the different options, the different selections, was very, very strong. I would say the strength of the design, the practicality of the design, the innovation of the design, creative use of the materials, an understanding of how we as humans engage with objects, and sort of the secondary issues would be use of the material in a manner that is acknowledging what it is, its presence as a wonderful working and approachable material, and then the issues of sustainability, reuse, and availability. Well, we're a world faced with limited resources, and we have to be cognizant of what our footprint is as a designer. We're creating objects for a consumer society, and there's always going to be demand for these objects. You can make objects that have a heavy impact on the world that we live in, both directly and indirectly, through either the manufacturing process or its lifespan. And designers need to be educated and understanding what those issues are and work with them. One of the wonderful things about using the woods is that they do come from a renewable resource. Their impact, provided that they're being harvested and produced in sustainable manners, is a material that can be continually reused and brought to market. Other materials such as metals, steel, concrete, plastics, not so much so. Innovation in industry has not gotten to the point where those materials can be thought of in the same way as the hardwoods can. I expect that the students will need to work closely in concert with the manufacturer to make sure that the designs are brought to realization as presented in the images and in their design. And so that's going to mean a close coordination and an ability to have the manufacturer fully understand what the student's trying to do or achieve through the design. That is incumbent upon the student to then fully understand what it means to create an object, but then also see it in production. It means having a technical understanding. It means having an understanding of manufacturing processes to the finishing process to bring it to its full realization. I expect that these will all be built at a very strong level, very high level. That certainly has demonstrated itself in past contests. The objects that I've seen, both in person and print, are very strong technically and sophisticated in their design. So I assume this is going to continue, and the winning results will be of the highest level, of the type that you could display proudly anywhere, be it as a student object or a professional object in the design room in Mexico, the United States, or other places.